The iPhone 17 series is finally here, and Apple has made some big promises about battery life, charging speeds, and performance upgrades. But is the hype real, or are there hidden drawbacks you need to know before upgrading? Let's break it down. Battery life. A mixed bag. First up, battery life. On paper, the iPhone 17 Pro Max delivers Apple's best battery yet. Thanks to the removal of the physical SIM card slot in the eSIM-only version, Apple managed to fit in a larger battery cell. That sounds amazing, but here's the twist. Real-world tests show that iOS 20 SAX's new liquid glass design is a serious battery drainer compared to iOS 18. For example, an iPhone 16 Pro Max used just 1% battery for simple tasks like unlocking, swiping, and opening apps on iOS 18. On iOS 26, the same tasks ate up 13%. And yes, you heard that right. 13%. One Redditor, Marion Barry-Deer, tested the iPhone 17 Pro Max with iOS 26 and discovered that even reducing transparency settings didn't lower power consumption. The only real fix? Low power mode. With it turned on, screen on time jumps from about 6.5 hours to nearly 10 hours. But there's a catch. Low power mode limits 5G, reduces refresh rate to 60 Hz, and dims the display. High voltage charging speed, big win for Apple. Thankfully, Apple makes up for that with insanely fast charging. The iPhone 17 Pro now supports 40W wired charging, doubling the pace from last year. Apple claims a 50% top-up in just 20 minutes, compared to 35 minutes on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And yes, that's exactly what we're seeing in tests. But there's a catch. You'll need Apple's new $40 40W adapter with the updated USB-C power delivery protocol. Third-party chargers will still fast charge, but without the fine-grained voltage control. Wireless MagSafe charging remains capped at 25W, the same as before. Speaker high-volume audio, haptics, and build. Now, let's talk about audio and design. The iPhone 17 Pro surprisingly isn't as loud as the iPhone 16 Pro at maximum volume. Sure, the distortion is reduced, but it feels like Apple toned things down a little too much. Bass and clarity are solid, but don't expect it to replace your headphones. The Taptic Engine haptics remain as sharp as ever, precise, strong, and satisfying. As for build, Apple switched to an aluminum unibody for better heat dissipation, paired with a vapor chamber cooling system. Thermal imaging confirms it spreads heat evenly, avoiding the hot spots we saw on the iPhone 16 series. But aluminum does scratch and dent more easily than titanium. If you're rough with your phones, a case is basically mandatory. Rocket performance, a huge leap. Here's where things get exciting. Performance. Powered by the all-new A19 Pro chip with LPDDR5X RAM, the iPhone 17 Pro delivers one of the biggest jumps in CPU and GPU power in years. Apple re-engineered its efficiency cores, pushing them to 2.6 GHz, and GPU tests are off the charts. In ray tracing benchmarks, the A19 Pro GPU outperforms even the M3 iMac. In games like Resident Evil 4 and Death Stranding, frame rates jump from 30 frames per second on the iPhone 16 Pro Max to nearly 50 frames per second on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Thermal throttling is also far less severe, thanks to vapor chamber cooling. The 17 Pro maintains around 65 to 70% stability, compared to much heavier drops on older models. Sun with face display and brightness. The display hasn't changed in size. It's still a 6.3-inch ProMotion panel. But brightness is now insane. The iPhone 17 Pro hits over 3000 nits peak brightness, making it one of the brightest smartphones in the world. Apple also added a 7-layer anti-reflective coating, which reduces glare outdoors. It's not quite as impressive as Samsung's Galaxy S25 Ultra, but it's a noticeable improvement for iPhone users. Package other notes. Unboxing is the same as ever. Slim packaging, the phone, a braided USB-C cable, and paperwork. No charger, no case, no screen protector. Basically, the standard Apple experience. White heavy checkmark final thoughts. So, here's the bottom line. Battery life is great on paper, but iOS 20 SAX's liquid glass UI eats away at it fast. Charging speeds are the best we've ever seen on an iPhone. Performance with the A19 Pro chip is a huge leap forward, especially for gaming. The display is brighter than ever, and heat management has improved a lot. The trade-off? Slightly weaker speakers and a more scratch-prone aluminum frame. Overall, the iPhone 17 Pro Max feels like one of Apple's biggest year-over-year upgrades in recent history. Backhand index pointing right, so would you upgrade to the iPhone 17 Pro Max or stick with your current iPhone? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dive reviews on Apple, Samsung, and the latest in tech.